Who are the Amalekites, and why have they become a significant part of Jewish history and prophecy? Let's dive into the annals of time to unravel this intriguing question. The Amalekites, a name that resonates with historical depth, are believed to be the descendants of Amalek. Amalek, according to biblical records, was the grandson of Esau, the elder brother of Jacob, who was the progenitor of the Israelites. These ancient people, the Amalekites, first crossed paths with the Israelites in a significant way during the Israelite exodus from Egypt. The Amalekites launched an unprovoked attack on the weary and weak Israelites, igniting a spark of conflict that would burn for generations. This unanticipated assault, according to biblical accounts, was not just an act of war, but a profound violation of the codes of desert hospitality. The Amalekites' attack on the Israelites marked the beginning of a long and bitter enmity. The Amalekites not only played a significant role in Jewish history, but also in Jewish prophecy. They are a powerful symbol in Jewish law, representing all that is evil and antithetical to the Jewish people and their beliefs. Now, let's delve into the prophecy that has shaped this perception. The Torah in the book of Exodus recounts a prophecy that God would wage war against Amalek from generation to generation. This prophecy is not just a stark declaration of divine wrath, but also a foretelling of a perpetual struggle against the forces that Amalek represents. The interpretation of this prophecy has evolved over the centuries, providing a fascinating insight into the Jewish psyche. On one hand, there is the commandment to remember Amalek's deeds. This is a call to never forget the atrocities committed by the Amalekites, who attacked the vulnerable and weak among the Israelites during their exodus from Egypt. This memory serves as a potent reminder of the injustices that Jews have faced throughout history, fueling their resolve to combat such evils. On the other hand, there is the commandment to obliterate the memory of Amalek. At first glance, it seems contradictory to the first. But this commandment is understood not as a call to physical violence, but rather as an aspiration to eradicate the malevolent values that Amalek embodies. It's a call to destroy hatred, cruelty, and injustice, the very values that Amalek represents in Jewish thought. Together, these commandments form a dual-edged sword. They underline the need to remember the pain inflicted by Amalek, while simultaneously striving to obliterate the forces of evil that Amalek signifies. This prophecy has been a significant influencer of Jewish thought. It has shaped their understanding of evil, their historical memory, and their moral duties. The Amalekites thus live on in Jewish consciousness, not as a physical enemy, but as a symbolic representation of all that is unjust and cruel in the world. This prophecy has left a lasting legacy on Jewish thought and continues to shape Jewish identity to this day. Even though the Amalekites have not existed for thousands of years, they continue to play a significant role in modern Jewish thought. The spectre of Amalek looms large over historical and contemporary Jewish consciousness. Despite fading into the annals of ancient history, the Amalekites have been invoked time and again to represent the existential threats that have confronted the Jewish people through the ages. Take, for example, the Holocaust, arguably the darkest chapter in Jewish history. Nazi Germany, under Hitler's brutal regime, was often likened to Amalek. The comparison was drawn not just because of the genocidal intent, but also because of the ideological hatred that fueled it. The Nazis aimed to obliterate not just the Jewish people, but the very idea of Judaism, much like the Amalekites in the biblical narrative. The concept of Amalek has also been employed in discussions about modern-day enemies. Some Jewish thinkers have used the term to describe those they perceive as threats to the Jewish people or to the State of Israel. However, this is where the Amalek analogy becomes tricky and fraught with ethical dilemmas. The commandment to blot out the memory of Amalek is often interpreted as a call to genocide, a perspective that is understandably problematic. It raises questions about the ethical implications of carrying forward an ancient biblical injunction into the modern world. The challenge for Jewish thought is to reconcile the historical memory of Amalek with contemporary values of peace, justice, and respect for all human life. One approach that has been proposed is to understand Amalek not as a literal people, but as a symbol of evil, injustice, and oppression. According to this view, the commandment to blot out the memory of Amalek is an invitation to combat these negative forces wherever they are found, rather than a call for physical destruction. In this way, the memory of Amalek serves as a reminder of the challenges that the Jewish people have faced and overcome, and the ethical responsibilities that come with survival and continuity. The memory of Amalek continues to be a powerful and contentious symbol in Jewish thought. So, who were the Amalekites, and why do they matter in Jewish history and prophecy? As we've explored throughout this journey, the Amalekites hold a significant place in Jewish history and consciousness. They're not just an ancient enemy, but a symbol of all that stands against the values and survival of the Jewish people. This enmity, rooted in historical conflict, has been magnified and perpetuated through prophecy and commandment. We've delved into the early accounts of the Amalekites, a tribal group that holds a unique place of dishonor in the Hebrew Bible. Emerging as arch-enemies of the Israelites during their exodus from Egypt, their unprovoked attack left a lasting impression, shaping their image as the embodiment of evil. But the conflict didn't end there. Prophecy played a pivotal role in cementing this enmity. The Torah foretold an eternal war against Amalek, a divine decree that elevated this conflict beyond the realm of the worldly and into the spiritual. This prophecy has resonated through the centuries, shaping the Jewish psyche and their understanding of their place in the world. Further fueling this enduring enmity is the commandment to remember and obliterate Amalek. This commandment, one of the 613 mitzvot, or commandments in the Torah, has ensured that the memory of Amalek remains alive. It's a stark directive, a call to remember the past while actively working to erase an enemy. In modern Jewish thought, Amalek has evolved from a historical adversary into a symbolic one. The name Amalek has come to represent not just a specific people, but any force that seeks to harm or destroy the Jewish community. This symbolic interpretation reinforces the relevance of Amalek, ensuring that the lessons of the past continue to inform the present and guide the future. The story of the Amalekites serves as a stark reminder of the power of history and prophecy in shaping our identities and our understanding of the world. It's a tale of conflict and survival, of prophecy and commandment, and of the enduring power of memory.